This is our first draft here of our semifinals. This is a best of five, which these teams are used to. Hit me with that 5 again.
5.
Look how good he is. Hit me with a 4. Oh, that did take a second.
I almost went 5. I almost went 5, but my brain said 5 fingers is not 4 fingers, and he asked you, show me a 4.
He crushed it.
Bang.
First pick over to Luminosity. They're grabbing
Easy
Suicune. Suicune, one of the best things in the game right now. Otter could be the player using this. You could also see this in the bottom path on someone like Curios.
Yep.
But as a support, running the EXP share on this Pokemon, you still get all the value out of the stuns, the slows, and the freezes, and you are able to power up your team with the best item in the game. It's a real win-win.
It definitely is, and the fact that it keeps your draft open, especially in this first position, is important, right? It allows you to be at least a little reactionary without committing too heavily, and Overlord on Blaziken is something for me, Be Still My Heart, and Curios, again, grabbing Armarouge, who is having, Armarouge specifically, is having a great showing this weekend to the point where it's starting to earn bans.
Yeah, I think Armarouge is having the revelation of Pokemon weekends, right? Just really crushing it all over the place. And then, of course, we have Blaziken. This is a Pokemon that I think we expected was going to do very, very well, and it is delivering. On the other side, Lapras, sort of that premier defender pick that felt like it crawled its way into the meta right around regionals, and of course, Psyduck, the most difficult thing to deal with, it feels like, in the entire game.
I mean, you talk about Revelation specifically, using Psyduck to a lot of phenomenal value this weekend. Where is Trainer going to go? They go with Zoroark, and they're going to be putting tons of pressure on top of Peru with that Pokemon. Zarina going to be looking to contend and battle up front and scrap as best as it can. And Anemo, who's going to round this out with a Ceruledge.
Interesting. I mean, when I look at Zoroark, there are 2 questions on my mind. Without Comfey, how viable will this be? And question number 2, how many times will I call this Zeraora accidentally in a match?
4.
Let me see the fingers.
Bang.
He nailed it. We're not on camera, but I can tell you at home, he hit it immediately. This man, I could tell him to put 3 fingers up and I bet he'd hit it. He did.
The sound effects went with me actually doing the action as we are now no longer on screen. I'm sure people would like for us to talk about the game, but numbers is important to us.
Yeah, numbers are extremely important, and extremely important to these 2 squads as well. For Luminosity, it's going to be number of trophies. For Peru, it's going to be number of times beating LG. So far, that's a 0 this season.
That's a low number.
You're holding up 0 fingers.
Bang. Nailed it again. Kid's on fire. How do we think about this Ceruledge? We have seen some phenomenal games out of it, and then, you know, this is where Peru, like, what do you think Peru is trying to counter with Ceruledge? Usually that's where you lean with your gutter pick, is to try and counter or, you know, find a way to combat what the enemy team has put together. Where do you think Ceruledge might slot in?
Well, you know, it's got one of the best Unites in the game, but you have to hit it. It's not like a Charizard Unite where you're guaranteed to be taking them up into the sky and doing some serious damage. That Ceruledge Unite hits could be massive. It misses. It feels like this Pokemon loses a ton of value, but you're going to see it in the hands of one of the best teams in the game as we get ready here in our semifinals. Luminosity Gaming, your purple team. Peru Unite, your orange team, as we're getting this thing started.
Blaziken, Suicune in a path feels difficult. It feels real tough to play into. And when you have just a bounce sweep on the other side with a Psyduck, it still feels like you're taking the L on that exchange. We'll see how it actually works out in practice, as tons of pressure is being put on Kea. Popping the headache as the Psyduck, which is actually buying them enough time to retreat and at least be safe for now.
Nice. They were able to get that secure. I mean, we have Luminosity being very aggressive right here. We're going to see if Overlord can get out of this, able to peel away from this crazy fight. The pressure from Luminosity Gaming this top path has been incredible. Another great secure by Otter right there.
I mean, Suicune is the best thing going for a reason. Not only is it great in phenomenal players' hands, but, you know, we said it was nerfed, but not really. You know, it clearly doesn't feel like it, not this weekend, and here comes Trainer.
And we can see Trainer coming up to the top path right here. The picture-in-picture shows us a fight in the bottom path, but those are some easy scores for Luminosity. The Evolution, Combustion's on the field. Dupsect is currently retching, and here comes the Ceruledge.
Stepping up, but not willing to engage. Overlord might have found themselves on the chopping block, but at what cost? And Peru says we're not willing to make that exchange or engage right there.
Yeah, beautiful stuff here. here from LG. Moving forward right now, seeing if they can pick up a KO on this side deck, getting aggressive enough to grab another stack for Overlord. The Blaze Kick is not able to pull side deck away, but they are able to get all this experience back up to score once again. Another 2 points for Luminosity, another stack on Blaziken.
Moving forward is this Luminosity team. They're moving forward as a collective, right? They're understanding the rotations the trainer needs to make, and then using that and kind of using their momentum of them sweeping in to push, push, push. Is this going to be any different as we have Kyrios holding it down in the face of 3, and all of Luminosity is looking to try to adjust to make sure that they can support their teammate. Here comes Slash leading the charge.
Yeah, we got 4 members of Peru down here, but it doesn't look like they were able to do too much. Tempo now level 6 on this arena, so the fights are going to get better and better for Peru. But look at this in the top path. Goals at 3. They're keeping it up so that they're able to get all of the experience between these 2 goal zones. 4 members fighting on this bottom goal zone. They are going to be able to score, put some points in. Here comes Trainer.
Oh, come on. The big fire spin around Kyrios prevents more scoring from going in, gets them just enough time for Trainer to engage, and forcing Peru Unite to retreat.
99-44. Overlord decides to break in the top path and then head and grab experience on the side of the map for Peru. Meanwhile, we're fighting here in the bottom path. 4 members of Luminosity. We do have Zarina making their way top to try to stop Overlord, but it looks like it's going to be too little too late. 5 seconds now until the Reggie spawn in the top and bottom path.
Well, it looks like Peru's going to do a heavy rotation, go 3v2 top. No, they're switching gears. Zarina's rolling downstairs. We have Mew creeping in. Mew, a great secure option, but barely eked out by Trainer, and that was real close.
Really close there from Zynus. Solar Beam not able to make it happen. In the top path, it's going to be very difficult for Peru to do anything. With Overlord as Blaziken near this objective, it's just so incredibly tough. Looking to get a KO
Great
instead of getting the objective right away. Taking down Psyduck, heading right back up. Almost level 10 right now on Blaziken.
I look at Luminosity Gaming, and one of the strongest parts of their games is being able to weather the storm of player mismatches, right? We just saw 4v2, 3v1s, and then the fact that they can do that means that they can stress the other side of the map, and it makes you feel hopeless. Because you're like, if I can't get it done 4v2, how am I supposed to get it done 4v4, 5v4? And things just feel out of touch, out of reach. Luminosity Gaming looking really good.
Yeah, Luminosity absolutely has their foot on the gas right now, and they are crushing it. Big time Cerulean Unite, but only clips 1. Solar Beam doesn't get anything done. Armorous Unite misses everything because the Pokemon is already knocked out. Luminosity now peeling away. I was wondering how Zoroark was going to do without a Comfey, and it looks like just fine in the hands of Trainer.
Well, that's the thing, right? You saw a Nemo coming in and immediately sussed out by Trainer, right? As soon as they got into vision, they tried to get in the bush to jump them after the score, but no. Zoroark immediately engages in, catches them, takes the initiative there, and makes it an easy knockout the other way.
Anemo, level 10.5 right now, getting close to the side of Luminosity Gaming, but they have a lot there. They have the Zoroark almost 12. They have Overlord just hitting over. No, sorry, that's Kyrios who just hit 11. Overlord, 11.5 as well. The assault on this bottom goal zone, moving in with the Fire Punch, seeing what they can make happen. They're going to try to break it right now. Big time Solar Beam. Overheat helps pick up a KO. Blaziken takes 1. Moving forward here onto Tempo. Another goes down, this time to Armourouge, but they're caught by Zynus.
But Zynus repositioning to get the Solar Beam for the knockout allowed that goal zone to be closed out, Spraggles, and I think if you're Luminosity Gaming, you're feeling okay with that. It's not the ideal exchange, but you're still there. Now they're putting tons of pressure on. Otter forcing out the Unite, and they're going to move through. Can they cash it in? Overlord's looking for some more punches. Everybody's low. This is Peru's moment. You got to make it happen. Oh no, they either cleansed or duffed the Unite move. Didn't hit the broadside of a barn. If you remember, we burned it down yesterday. And now Kyrios is fire spinning their way up the track, and they get a Snorlax for all that effort.
Yeah, I mean, look, they were able to get the objective. They put a lot of pressure on Luminosity. That Psyduck Unite move actually making it really hard for LG to fight there. But you're right. Once again, Cerulean Unite threading the needle perfectly. Looks like it missed every member of Luminosity there. They're definitely going to have another one, possibly 2 more in this match, but that Unite move, unlike Blaziken stance switching or a power nap, it can easily miss and provide no value at all.
And no value is exactly what it went for, just like the number of times they've beat Luminosity Gaming, which is none. 3 minutes, 36 seconds on the clock. We're starting to rip this Regieleki. Counter-scoring is the duck. They're able to be preventing the score. We're going to freeze them down. Curios is there to close the door. Tempo is trying to flank. They see Otter. Otter sees them, puts them in the bushes, try to freeze them down. Boosted auto, eaten by Otter. On the backside is Overlord. They're looking for a pincer maneuver. But now they're looking to see if this Regieleki is going to go in, cut off by the tank Lapras, and good Unite by Tempo can actually get a KO. They do. Finally, the support Suicune goes down, but that's not a type of target you want at this point in the game.
No, I mean, you're expending a lot of resources for it, right? They had to use the Unite move from Zarina. They do finally get it, and there's no question it's been one of the most difficult things for them to deal with. The amount of stuns, slows, and freezes that Suicune is able to output has just been impossible for Peru to get through and also win some of these bigger fights. Level-wise, things are looking amazing here for Luminosity Gaming, but Peru not far behind. 13 on Ceruledge, 13 on Zarina. Gonna need to move around the map, get some wild Pokemon experience so that they can charge up that Unite move, but they are walking into Rayquaza, 100 points down, but pretty even fight-wise, and look at them score top.
Yeah, they're giving up this objective and trying to match up these points here, and they're able to square up the lead a little bit. About 51 points separate these two squads as we have 15 seconds till Rayquaza.
That's right, Ray is about to hit the map here, and we're going to see how Peru wants to play this. They are behind. Luminosity is well aware of that, so they're going to need to be the ones to make a play. But LG likes to take these opportunities to catch their opponents and start a big fight. The question is, how do they want to do it? They move in with Snorlax and then pull them back with a Blaze kick from Blaziken here. We're going to see how they want to start this engagement. Nice little Solar Beam, chips Overlord a bit. Slash getting caught a little there by the Psychic, but an easy block. Deals with a lot of that damage as you have Peru Unite sneaking around in the tall grass here, and Overlord might get caught right now.
Oh, they're putting the pressure on. Nice readjustment. Overheat is there. Pressure put on Ceruledge. Unite back the other way. Overlord so low, they're kept standing. Tempo goes to Unite on Trainer, but here comes the power nap. Suicune Unite back the other way, and it's a Nemo that goes down first. Now we're putting the pressure on, and you gotta feel like not getting Overlord there is a critical mistake.
Wow, shocking that they weren't able to catch him there. Two members of Peru went for it. Not able to make it happen. Zarina down right now. That's two members down. Luminosity Gaming is pushing forward.
No, Otter is there. Whirlpool put it down. Psyduck tries to wrap them up. The Mew Unite is going to give them in the mist, and they're going to be able to retreat here as we're looking for some resets. Overlord pretends to go back, stays in the pocket for just a second.
Here we go. Overlord looking for their moment right here. Slash moves in, big time power nap. They're going for the KO and they take it right away.
Now they're going to have to be on the hunt here. Draken tries to step up. Curios is getting really low. Heavy slam cover. Block is out. Can Curios get behind it? Tons of pressure on Kea. And now we're going and split scoring. Luminosity is going to start stressing this thing in different directions. Is it Rayquaza? Is it stopping scores? Doesn't matter. Luminosity sees the finish line in sight here in game one.
Here we go. 30 seconds left on the clock. Peru is behind. Their only hope would be to peel off and score or possibly get Ray, but look at this, more points in the home goal zone. Overlord able to score there due to that beautiful faint Shadow Claw combo. The knockups from Shadow Claw slowed them down just enough to let the score happen. It was probably over, but that's all she wrote. Beautiful plays there by Luminosity in game one.
Very well executed. Another game where unfortunately it didn't feel particularly close. It was just Luminosity doing their thing.
Here we go, heading into game number two. Luminosity already up, feeling very in control of this matchup. Peru with the first ban, and it's going to be the Leafeon.
Yeah, targeted to Trainer. They're going to try and limit their pool a little bit, but as we just watched, you can't shut them off from everything.
Yeah, Suicune back the other way. And finally, looks like we're going for Inteleon, a Pokemon that has not had a super stellar weekend. I think a lot of us would have thought, especially for Zoinks, I think a lot of us would have thought we would have had a stronger weekend out of Inteleon. I don't know if just that snipe shot quality of life change is actually hurting it, or if the meta is just kind of moving on from it a bit.
Yeah, maybe it's a combination of both. However, we did just have like our best Inteleon set where Revelation played it 3 games in a row and it looked terrific.
Great point.
I mean, Tempo grabbing Blaziken first here, unsurprising. It's incredibly strong. However, you know, that means Otter's going to get the duck, and they've got a lot of good choices to make here.
Yeah, it feels like this could be an easy spot to pick up your next, the next part of your support crew, right? So we've got Psyduck and we have Hoopa on the side of Luminosity. You could definitely see Psyduck played as sort of more of a tank role. You could also see sort of a dual tank with it, but it looks like we're going for kind of a classic supporter in Hoopa and more of a defender-style supporter in Psyduck.
Yeah, great adjustment here. That opens up phenomenal choices for Draken and Kea, and they go into the bread and butter Season 1 Snorlax Eldegoss combination. Just as time-tested as possible, those two Pokemon are. And Snorlax specifically, phenomenal weekend.
I'm wondering what we're going to see here out of Luminosity. We're getting further and further in the draft, and this is the point where you can't really hide your strategy that much anymore. You know, you're using your supports and defenders to sort of hide what your carry Pokemon are. Kyrios once again grabbing the Armarouge and Trainer on Zoroark. So as far as they are concerned, not much different.
Yeah, and in a similar type of situation, we actually saw last time LG was on stage, Overlord grabbed Charizard, and Nemo's going to have to adjust to that. Obviously, the Inteleon is a direct target ban to Zainus, who now defaults to Mew in that situation, and that's something that Luminosity feels comfortable contending with, especially when they themselves have one of the best Mew players going. And Nemo still rounds it out with Ceruledge, and now Overlord's got some choices to make because they've got a lot of good ones depending on who they want to counter. A lot of short-ranged action happening from Peru Unite here.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of range either from the side of Luminosity, and there we go. Lucario. Lucario, who recently received a few rounds of buffs, and now we're looking at one of the best players to ever play Lucario. If you've been with Unite since the beginning, you remember the Lucario meta that dominated an entire year of this game. The Pokemon was so good, it was able to stay in the top path all by its lonesome, creating the 1-1-3 meta. One top, one in that central area, and 3 members of your team in the bottom path. I don't think that's what's happening right now, but if it did, I would freak out.
it would be.
I would freak out.
I would absolutely freak. It would be great to see. It would be a nice, for me and you, like a nostalgia snapback, right? That'd be very cool. Peru, how are they going to adjust? They ended up with a few better tools, I think. You know, the Blaziken, it really stands out to me. Snorlax, of course, stands out to me. But remember, Peru last game could have grabbed the Snorlax, but defaulted off of it into the Lapras.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is for sure, if we're seeing Lucario versus Blaziken in that top path, unless the outplays are pretty incredible, Lucario is much better early than Blaziken. It takes a long time for Blaziken to catch up to Lucario, but late game, it is a bit of a monster. I would love to see the extreme speed build here. The Bone Rush buffs feel really, really solid on Lucario. It feels like a bit of a delete button. Its Unite move is on a super low cooldown. It has very low cooldown. Its ability is like on a lower cooldown now, so you can brawl more often. I can't wait to see what this looks like as we head into game number 2. Peru Unite, your purple team, Luminosity Gaming, your orange team, up 1 game in our best of 5.
Can we talk about a soul read situation here? KN Tempo flip sides to try and fade Overlord and slash.
No way!
They flipped too, so now they're finding themselves against the matchup they would have gotten if we kept everything the same. Talk about the ultimate soul read, and now that just means Luminosity has been studying Peru because they've probably done this a couple other times, and they adjusted very well, and now Overlord still gets to bully that Torchic.
What a hilarious moment between these two squads. They both had the exact same idea, looking for that counter right there. Draken getting very, very low here in the top path. Looks like things are not going too poorly for Peru up here. In the bottom path, I know Lucario put some points in. We already have the center area making their way down looking for the KO, and they are able to pick it up on Lucario, but here comes Trainer.
Trainer needs to clean up the trash here to make it worthwhile, and they get 2. Kea immediately sees that and says, nope, not me as well. Get out of here. We can't feed a Trainer that much this early.
Yeah, Trainer now getting all that experience between the 2 goal zones. Here in the top path, Kyrios and Otter trying to deal with Draken. You know, Snorlax has incredible secure, but I love this by Kyrios. He says, you know what, fine. I'm just going to go try to score right now if you're not going to let me get the wild Pokemon.
And he's successful too. So Kyrios is going to get out of dodge, hopefully, with Otter a little support, little surf knockback, and Draken is just staying relentless on this pursuit. Finally gives up on it, and that's a W for LG.
Look at Draken. I mean, Draken just will not quit here. Pretty incredible, and does get it. Mew now heading back up to the top path, seeing what they can get. Draken right now, level 5.
Yeah, I mean, doing a great job in this 2v1. You know, Luminosity still chipping away at it, right? Still getting their experience, not slowing them down too much, but you're buying time. Here comes a Nemo and Zinus. Good combination knockout. That's well done, good work.
Very, very nice as we head towards the center right here. All of this should be pretty free for Peru, but it looks like Trainer is here to stop them. Nice plays by Nemo. Yes, they do go down.
He's still my heart.
Beautiful hyper. I know you're so excited right now.
I really think this should be played more than it currently is right now. I think people are kind of enjoying, I don't want to say the brand new toy that is Trick Phantom Force, because obviously it's very old, but it is the hip thing to do, and sometimes a good portal saving 3 people is just way too good.
Yeah, really nice stuff here. Overlord able to make it out of that fight. Something Lucario just has insane mobility and survivability in a lot of these engagements, especially early in top and bottom path. They've outplayed their opponents so well. Luminosity up 0 points for Peru to 72.
Luminosity Gaming also can always conceal their hand, right? Because of this Hoopa portal where they can start switching paths, like no push feels super safe right now, especially because LG's ahead and Peru hasn't been able to chunk anything into these tier 1 goal zones.
Regieleki being chipped a little bit in the bottom path here. Easy secure for Luminosity. In the top path, however, we have 4 members of Peru. They are coming up through the portal, seeing if they can do anything about it. But no, this heads towards the side of Luminosity after that secure.
Looks like they might be trying to take a fight here. And Nemo pops their Unite move, actually hits 2, but they are dealt with so quickly. As soon as they hit their Unite, they're dispatched of.
Whoa.
And now the Surf is coming through, a big Aura Cannon as well. Heavy slam by Draken. Really, Draken's the one coming alive for Peru, trying to give their team a chance here. Overheat is charged, doesn't hit anything. Luminosity Gaming is going to get out of here without giving up much of anything either.
Yeah, Luminosity Gaming so proficient at not giving something up with a fight like that, right? Other teams might overcommit in that moment, but not LG here. Looking to see if there's any way for them to get out, and they cannot, being chased down by Anemo. You know, we were wondering, what's the plan with the Ceruledge? It's been chasing down Lucario very well.
Yeah, and you know, that's a great tool in and of itself. Now, can the rest of LG, I don't want to say turtle up, but at least adjust to that. Heavy slam is there, overheat pushes Slash Can out, they still catch the reset. Another player through here for the save. Kyrios is on the chase, they want tempo, they get tempo. Half HP between Draken and Kyrios, and are they going to get the knockout? They do, give them 2.
Look at Kyrios here. I mean, just playing this incredibly tanky attacker in Arm Rouge definitely performs much more like an all-rounder or even defender in this position. Decent amounts of damage, but so bulky.
Oh, here comes a Nemo straight into the back line. The portal is down. 2 more players blinked out of existence, and they don't even have to come back through that, right? They can just walk up path and be okay. And now we're really starting to see the strength of these portals and how impactful they can be in moments like that.
Yeah, Luminosity Gaming, 3 members down towards the bottom path, but they can rotate top. They can do a lot here because Slash, the Hoopa, is level 9. Overlord eats a massive overheat right there. Tempo trying to peel back, but being chased down in this central area, and they are going down to Trainer.
Yeah, that becomes easy money. And the reason Slash is babysitting that T1 is because if there's a big push by Peru T2, they can just portal up, hyperspace highway. Otherwise, they're just keeping vision, understanding where Peru is going, and are they going to rotate to the actual objectives.
Here we go, looking for a possible KO right here. Psyduck Unite move trying to stop it. They do go down, but a better trade would be picking up this KO. Trainer does.
Focus Blast is in, tons of pressure on Trainer, forced to use the Unite move and retreat. Nobody else really for Luminosity is there. Might have to give up some points. Focus Blast almost sorts them out. Decent stun there by Slash. They move through with the Rings Unbound Hoopa. They're shrunk back down to size like a micro machine, and that is a portal that doesn't catch anybody. His Otter's trying to hold it down by them lonesome.
Yeah, lonesome. Tempo right here in the bottom path, just absolutely crushing it at this goal zone fight. Trainer is back to try to stop them, but it really does look like Tempo has this under control with Kea supporting in an incredible way. Blaziken so unbelievably good.
I mean, you take a look at this. The scoreline is incredibly close. The experience favors Luminosity right now, but that gap is shrinking. Peru Unite is understanding how to get value here, and they're doing a decent job keeping it close.
Yeah, 149, 147. As you talked about, level-wise, it is close, but we do have Luminosity ahead. They've been doing pretty well in a lot of these fights. Trainer, maybe the only Zoroark that I see without a Comfey performing at this level. I mean, even Overlord, when he's playing the Zoroark, feels like he has to play with the Comfey, right? Trainer is unbelievable on this thing.
Yeah, and that's, facilitated by the players around them, allowing Trainer to engage with, using the other players on the team as the get-out-of-jail-free cards, right? Once they get too deep into the waters, you have Trainer / Curios stepping up and helping, you have Otter and Slash and Curios stepping up to help him out.
Tempo looking for a sneaky score here in the top path. Multiple members of Peru trying to distract. They actually send Trainer to the top path as we have an assault on this goal zone.
3-on-3 action here. They're battling it out, but the firepower is on the side of Peru. Can they get a knockout here? Portal blinks out Curious. They're going to come back, and that in and of itself is enough to stop the push.
Yeah, and here we go. In the top path, we actually have multiple members of Luminosity trying to score, but it's the Snorlax stopping them. 30 seconds until Rayquaza. 2 points separating these teams. And outside of a few levels on the side of Luminosity, this game is insanely close.
Yeah, 3 level 13s on Luminosity is nothing to scoff at. But now that we're, less than 15 seconds till Ray hitting the map and Peru having a very good team fight strategy at Ray, everything is up in the air right now.
Curios, kind of stalking the center of this map right here as we see all 5 members of Peru on top of Rayquaza here. They are on top of it. Trainer looking for a moment. Otter getting vision for the team, seeing how they want to fight. Curios moving in.
Straight in. We have the overheat, doesn't hit anything. It was going to be a big-time engage, but things settle out very quickly.
They peel back right now, and we're looking for a possible score opportunity. We see the Ceruledge hiding in the bottom path, but Lucario Overlord doing the same thing. Akimo pulling back here. Anemo trying to stop them and does stop Overlord from scoring. In the central area here, everyone peels back. Trainer watching this top goal zone. We are 2 points between these two teams right now, and neither one knows which is up.
They're looking to collapse on Anemo, who's sitting on Pat. Now everybody's scrambling away. That's forced the Rayquaza to start to get hit. Rings Unbound will rip through the portal. We're putting the stuns down. Cotton Cloud Crash going to land on top. Top off the team. Is that going to be enough to sustain the fight? Very low on the backside.
Whoa.
Big Ceruledge unite, but it's not enough. No players down yet. Just the Ceruledge itself. Trainer's trying to get back to Pad to eat some shields. The block is happening to prevent the rest of LG to get topped off as well. Now we're moving back towards the middle. The whole team of Peru Unite is getting there, but Otter's been hanging out the whole time. They've got the vision. The overheat is there, charged up, doesn't hit anything. Now we're going to have a portal. We're going to reset, and I think things might have to stop. Trainer's on the chase, and they're eating up everybody, and so is Overlord. The surf is there, and Trainer thinks that's enough. The HP bars are low, but we're going for the counter scores.
Here we go. Overlord putting in 50, which will be 100 here in double time in the top path. 149, 347. Peru knows that LG is up right now, looking for the KO, and they get it on Overlord. Anemo very, very low, looking to, get caught by Trainer. Trainer now moving through Peru Unite, trying to pick up those final KOs with only 15 seconds left. There's just not enough time for Peru. A beautiful Rayquaza fight by Luminosity, in control the entire time.
Wow, I mean, Luminosity is just putting on a clinic today. No matter what look Peru has been showing, they have been adjusting and then doing a good job reacting in a beneficial way to them and communicating incredibly well. They're playing expertly, and that's part of the puzzle here that Luminosity Gaming is putting together that's allowing Trainer to be Zorak, earning the ban, rightfully so. What else are you going to do?
Fully agree. I mean, he has absolutely earned that ban. Of course, Trainer has a lot of options, but they're taking 2 Pokemon that Trainer plays very well. Overlord has been known to play both of these also. These 2 players go back and forth between, all of their incredible carry picks. It really feels like they have a massive Rolodex, and it's who wants this carry this time. I wonder what we're going to see out of Trainer now. I know the Mimikyu is very tasty, and he would love to pick that up. Probably, in my opinion, the best Mimikyu player in the world on the side of Luminosity Gaming. First couple of picks, the Inteleon is out, as well as the Armarouge.
Yeah, Curious has been playing Inteleon for a while now, but most importantly, Xynews doesn't have Inteleon now, which is really where you want to be. Now, Kea is going to cut off the Hoopa and the Snorlax again, but we have a really interesting scenario here where you can give Otter the Mew, and then you cut off Xynews from the Mew as well.
Well, you also have Psyduck available. I mean, Psyduck is here.
I mean, you can go Duck Mew, and that is super legit right now.
Let's see what they decide to do here. We have the Duck being hovered. We decide to go with the Eldegoss and the Psyduck. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised to see Psyduck here, a top pick. To be fair, Snorlax is right up there in that conversation. This thing has been amazing lately. Psyduck just, it feels like no matter what, that Pokemon is a nightmare to deal with. It's so frustrating at every point in the match.
We've got Lapras locked in. That's going to be like a top path Lapras, and we've got Anemo going to be on the run here with this Dodrio.
I mean, look, year 2, Carry Lapras won Luminosity the World Championship. So I can't say that this is necessarily a bad play. We just haven't really seen that in a long time. Over onto the side of Luminosity, Overlord picking up the Zarina.
Easy money. And really all it's going to be is anytime tempo goes in, Overlord has enough sustain for itself to hang in the pocket just long enough to hit its Unite move, drag that 3-headed bird into the skies, kick it like Liu Kang, and bring it back down and let the rest of the team clean up the trash. Trainer grabbing Armor Rouge, though, this game, based on how their draft shaped out.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see it, but I'm not surprised to see so much Armor Rouge. Clearly, it is the truth, and we are finding that out this weekend. A lot of these teams recognizing just how unbelievably difficult it is to take down this Fire Spin build, and you've been seeing them build it pretty tanky. Slick Spoon giving you more HP. At the same time, you have increased defenses with that Rocky Helmet, and with the new Rocky Helmet buffs, you're actually getting a decent amount of damage from that more consistently also.
Golly, I really like Luminosity Gaming's draft. I think Peru Unite is going to have to really step up here. They're really going to have themselves a game, you know, maintain your confidence. You do have some absolute playmakers out there. Zainus, Tempo, Anemo are just threats in and of themselves. And especially with the support core that they have, they can make this happen. This is not down. You are down but not out. Let's make it work. Game 3, let's get it. Game
3, possibly our last game here in these semifinals. Peru Unite, your purple team. Luminosity Gaming, your orange team, up 2-0. And I hate to break it to you, Peru, but Curios just got a new cord. This could be very bad.
This is what he says, like, I need a new cord. I'm taking Inteleon next game. It's going to work out. Give me that cord. Tempo quickly going to score, unsurprisingly. Bounce Sweet and Gossifleur going to try and cover. Can't quite stop them, and, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, really nice stuff right there as we head down to the bottom path. Beautiful confusion by Slash, catches 2. Curios just needs to power up, get that intel online as quickly as possible so they can do insane amounts of damage. You'll notice 2 assault vests on the side of Peru here so that they can eat those snipe shots.
Yeah, I mean, anything, whatever it takes to make it work, right? Just get in there, make intelligent choices, bolster up if you think it's going to be a concern, get yourself a win, back on the right track.
We've actually got the Armor Rouge now running up to the top path. They decided to give it the central area here as it's getting ready for this fight. You see Anemo getting set up for a possible Blaze Kick situation. Trainer moving in, however.
Yeah, Fire Spin down immediately. A lot of pressure being put on, and that's a great knockout on the Steenie by Tempo. That's the one you're looking for. Trainer eating a berry, pulled off by the Hoopa, by the way, and now it's a KO streak of 2 instantly in a situation that I thought for sure Peru would have been very comfortable with. They find themselves on the back end of a nightmare.
This thing is broken.
It's really good.
It's like, what on earth? Just runs up here, stands next to him. You know, the attacks obviously lowering the cooldown of Fire Spin once again, just walks back in, picks up a double KO. That red buff also helping, so that's really impossible for them to get away from this Pokemon. As we have Dodrio in this central area here, trying to take away some of the experience and buffs from Luminosity.
Trusting Slashcan downstairs by themselves, which it makes sense, right? They're trying to insulate Overlord, get Overlord leveled up, because they really want to be Zarina as quickly as possible to operate.
Great plays here by Peru, up 62-9. Level 7 now on their Blaziken, taking that opportunity to do some real work up there as we have Trainer here in the bottom path, looking for a possible KO on Zainus. Zainus having to run away, and they should be going down in this moment. The Psyshock, the Flame Charge, the Fire Spin, all of it just too much for Lapras to deal with.
Absolutely, and we still have a Drizzile though, so Curios is really looking for this evolution, and any secure will get it, and bang, there it is. Draken going straight for the engagement, overheat charge, actually chunks Curios, or Trainer, really heavily, and now the snipe shot's coming through, doesn't hit anyone. We're darting back through, right into the middle is Overlord. Decent HP levels on them as now they're trying to siege the pad. The Cotton Cloud Crash comes down in a decent top off here, and is gonna allow the rest of Luminosity to get out, at least for now. Overlord goes straight back in. Heavy Slam's gonna get out Otter and put tons of pressure on Slash. Excuse me. Now we're moving back through, and the Surf is there, back through the portal, and Overlord's waiting for him. They've switched so many characters amongst all the different roles that I am getting all jumbled up.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking this fight is chaos, and they are playing at such a crazy level that no one is going down as they are moving back and forth through this. Once again, Luminosity trying to put some pressure onto this goal zone. Top path, we have the Armarouge and the Blaziken. Down here should be a good secure for Curios with the snipe shot, and they get it.
Yeah, that's why you choose that Pokemon. That's what you want. The 2v1 upstairs goes into the favor of Peru as expected. A lot of good pressure on Zainus. This Lapras snipe shot is there, finds its mark. That's a KO. Now we're going 4v2 downstairs. We're going to put the pressure on. Draken is there, half HP. Heavy Slam grabs a berry. Snipe shot doesn't quite hit, doesn't let it loose. We're going to Fell Stinger away. Tempo steps up with this Dodrio, going to help put some pressure. K is hanging out by the pad. They can Hyperspace Highway whomever they want through. Blaziken secures Regieleki up top, and Luminosity is very comfortable downstairs. Is Trainer ever going to join the fight? Can they keep them from resetting? No. Overlord's sitting right there waiting for him. Dodrio Unite into the back line. We keep pushing on, and now we're popping the Inteleon Unite, and we're finding some real targets. Dodrio goes. Lapras eats a Queenly Majesty Unite. We're going to keep pushing forward. We're going to keep pushing forward. Luminosity Gaming is absolutely relentless, Cowboy.
Moving into this goal zone, finally getting the opportunity to score as Peru Unite relents. They let them finally score. They had Regieleki walk top this entire time. It has been a back and forth fight. We are at the 5-minute mark, and I don't think Dubsnax has been able to stop calling a fight for more than 3 seconds. It has been unbelievable, the back and forth between these squads. Hey, there's another fight here in the bottom pack.
What do you know? Points going in, and here comes LG. Draken finding themselves on the pad again, trying to run that defense. A Surf out of Otter. Slash going to create space, and now they're going to pivot back. Stop switching all these characters around. Help me.
Chasing away Zainus here. We have a score attempt at the bottom path. Anemo being pushed back here by Slash. Overlord back down to the bottom path to continue this fight. Reggie is spawning again. 2 straight minutes of brawling here as Dodrio actually in the central area here, picking up a nice KO on Curios, invading that central area and scoring in the top path.
Something that can't be understated, all this fighting has kept Draken from being able to hit level 9 and the Hoopa as well, because they've just had to defend pad so long. They need to evolve. They want those unites, and now Draken might get knocked out here as the rest of Peru is going to take Regirock, but LG's on the hunt for bodies. They don't care about objectives anymore. Huge shot on Anemo is going to put the tide to an end for them. They have to reset. Kea goes Rings Unbound. Reset there. Pressure on. The Fists of Fury are coming out, and they're trying to stun down LG as Peru wants to put together a counter push. Nice block into the guts of everybody. Everybody has moved around, forcing out the Intel Unite. Is this going to be enough? Anemo goes down, and now Draken's in the middle of everybody. They go down. 3 players see the curtains as they're drawn closed on them, just like this goal zone is going to be closed out.
5 players of Luminosity survive that engagement as they score in the bottom path, bringing the scoreline 162-152 as they are now heading up to the top path through the central area of Peru Unite as they continue brawling. Dodrio looking for a KO. Otter finally going down. Here comes Anemo trying to cut them off as they move towards the top path, and LG actually somehow pulls back. No, they don't. They're going towards the tier 2.
They're just, nope, pressure forever. I know something's up when Otter's in the middle of 3, just pressing them down by themselves, not looking at, offensively chucking the pollen puffs to deal damage. Everybody's about that action today. Everyone wants the smoke in this game 3.
162-152. Peru is up right now. Nice position right here as they send multiple members down towards this tier 1. With only 2 members of Luminosity, this is going to look pretty bad for them. Regieleki is being ripped apart, but here comes Peru.
It's Overlord and Slash gonna have to hold it down. Here's the snipe shot though. Anemo takes big damage. So does Zainus. Overlord sees the opportunity. They're on the chase. Heavy slam block by Draken. Gonna let Tempo and Anemo get out of dodge. And that's what they needed in that moment, because those knockouts would have been critical.
Yeah, they absolutely gave up Draken there, and it was a very smart decision. Keep Snorlax in that moment. Snorlax will be back in time for Rayquaza. Could be Peru's last Rayquaza here of this tournament. Reg Ice being chipped up right now, already at half. Only 8 seconds now until Rayquaza. Extremely aggressive positioning right here with the block. peels them back for just a moment. Anemo in some trouble, having to run away from this as LG continues moving forward. Back through the portal goes Peru.
If Draken goes down there, that is a massive catch in that moment. Curios is ripping snipe shots from a really advanced position, but they know tempo's there. And now Curios is split from the entire team, but right into the middle is the Dodrio. Tons of damage on Trainer. They're trying to rein them in, darting across. Nice catch by Slash. Gets tempo shut down. The rings are unbound. Arriba back to the middle. Anemo eats the Queenly Majesty. The Zarina puts them down. And now we're pivoting back to the center. Dodrio is on the run, and the Hoopa is down. Draken is sitting there looking at Three-Headed Bird, says, let's do something, son. And that's a big power nap for 2 KOs. Great work by the tandem. Another big heavy slam. The block into the wall. Trainer's pinned. Can they get the knockout? Sign News is going to go down. The pressure is just too much. Peru is feeling it from all sides. However, they have a 4-3 advantage in this moment for a few seconds.
Yeah, and here we go. Luminosity deciding what they want to do in this moment. Charging up the Queenly Majesty, looking for the Hoopa right now, and it's trying to run, but Kea might go down right here. Doesn't catch him before he goes through. Kea gets the reset. Tempo is being chased back. Overlord looking for another KO, not able to make it happen. Tempo now deciding what they want to do. They are up Dupes next, 181 to 152, and Kea resets again.
Rayquaza needs to start going down because they can send Dodrio on a mission to score. Rayquaza's at half, and I think Luminosity needs to pivot. They're getting leashed around by Tempo. Who's going to do it? Heavy slam comes through to catch the reset. There's a couple players down. Rayquaza's low. Snipe shots lined up. It is secured by Trainer Arnar Marouge. And Luminosity Gaming is going to dash the hopes of Peru on another IC title as Luminosity Gaming marches towards the Sunday Grand Finals.
With only 15 seconds left on the clock, the Ray Shields will help them score fast enough. The Hundo Burgers reign in the 58 burger from the Eldegoss. LG brawls with Peru for 10 straight breathless minutes to win 3-0 in the semifinals.
And another step closer to the 3 ICs of the year. First place prize going on their shelf. What a game by Luminosity.